Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. It's the beginning of a new month. Today is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, and I trust and hope that your October will be filled with peace, joy, happiness and grace, and that you would be able to accomplish all that you set out to do, that it would be a great time for you. Today, October 1st, is also celebrated internationally as International Day of Older Persons. And according to the United Nations, the theme is Aging with Dignity, the importance of strengthening care and support systems for older persons worldwide. We took the opportunity to invite representatives from the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Aging and Disabilities who joined me on the program yesterday. We had Permanent Secretary General Tafari Lewis and Supervisor within the Aging Unit, Andrea Keynes, who spoke about the importance of celebrating and appreciating older persons in our society. They spoke about the role they play in the community, and they also made mention of a number of activities that have been planned in commemoration of International Day of Older Persons. And so activities run from today, October 1st. They have a church service, which I think began at 10 a.m. and activities run up until the 9th of November, where they're going to have a seniors prom. And so the aging unit within that ministry has put on those activities. Now, just some information about International Day of Older Persons. So the number of people aged 65 or older worldwide is projected to more than double, rising from 761 million in 2021 to 1.6 billion in 2050. The number of people aged 80 or older is even faster. Today, life expectancy at birth exceeds 75 years in half of the world's countries or areas, 25 years longer than those born in 1950. Individuals reaching the age of 65 are now expected to live an additional 16.8 years on average. In 2018, a historic milestone was reached when the number of older persons outnumbered children younger than 5 for the first time globally. By 2030, the global population of older persons is projected to exceed the number of youth and double the number of children younger than 5. As populations age, the demand for healthcare and social support has surged, especially for those with conditions like dementia, a major cause of dependency and disability in older adults. Specialized care is now essential to meet these growing needs. Women, who comprise most care recipients and caregivers, contribute roughly 70% of global informal care hours. This is especially true in low and middle income countries with limited care services, making women more vulnerable to poverty in old age. Now, the International Day of Older Persons, it was declared on the 14th of December in 1990 by the United Nations General Assembly. And again, the day is to recognize the older persons in our community and to thank them for their contribution. On this International Day of Older Persons, let's commit to strengthen care and support systems that honor the dignity of older persons and caregivers. That is a quote from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on this occasion as we celebrate. There is not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but across the globe, a week of and a month long activity activities to commemorate the day. Now, this year's celebration will bring together experts to discuss policies, legislation, and practices that strengthen care and support systems for older people. It will highlight the urgent need to expand training and educational opportunities in geriatrics and gerontology, address the global shortage of care workers, and recognize the diverse contributions of caregivers. The commemoration will also emphasize the importance of protecting the human rights of both caregivers and care recipients, promoting person-centered approaches to care that respect the dignity, beliefs, needs, and privacy of older persons, and for the right to make decisions about their care and quality of their lives. It is 7 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour, and you are listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining me in the program. Just to give you a quick recap of the list of activities that the department is putting on. So activities begin today, as I mentioned, with a church service at the Lighthouse Baptist Church. Then on October 15th, they're going to have a sports and fun day at the Frigate Bay Lawn. The fun day will feature favorites such as Lyman Spoon, sack races, dominoes, and more. Friday, October 25th is the popular Seniors March. The seniors are usually joined by persons from different generations, including primary school students, as they probably march through the streets of Bastia. A paint and sip experience with the members of the Seniors Day program, and school students will run from October 28th to 30th, when the respective groups meet in St. Peter's, Newtown, St. Paul's, Otley's, Lodge, Cayon, Tabernacle, and Sandy Point. The final activity takes place on November 9th, and the second annual Seniors Prom will be hosted at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. And this magical night turns back the clock for many of the senior citizens as they dress elegantly and dine in an atmosphere of excitement, with a night filled with fun and entertainment. Also during October, a sense of consultations will gather the opinions and suggestions of the seniors on crime and violence, and ways to create a safer environment on or for the age group and society as a whole. The information will be collected as part of the 90-day campaign on violence and crime. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Look, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And I have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they are full, to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.kn.
Welcome back to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today, October 1st, 2024. The phone lines will be open in a bit. You may call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Senkis Nevis has been elected to serve on PAHO's 61st Directing Council General Committee, and they were elected to serve on that committee on September 30th. The development comes as a recognition of the nation's growing leadership and commitment to regional health initiatives alongside Cuba and the United States, who were also selected to be part of the influential committee. The General Committee holds a key role in overseeing the procedures and structure of PAHO's annual meetings, influencing decisions or discussions rather that drive health policy decisions across the Americas. Senkis Nevis's inclusion underscores its increasing presence in regional and global health governance, especially in the face of challenges such as infectious diseases, climate change, and health equity. Dr. Drew, Prime Minister and Minister of Health, highlighted the significance of the opportunity for the Federation. He said, quote, "This appointment to the General Committee marks a milestone for Senkis Nevis as we continue to strengthen our role in global health governance. It is a testament to our growing capacity to influence important health policies that will benefit not only our people, but also the wider Caribbean and the Americas," Dr. Drew said. The 61st Directing Council convenes representatives from across the Americas to discuss urgent health matters and establish policies for the Pan-American region. Senkis Nevis's active participation on the General Committee will be crucial in ensuring that the unique health concerns of small island developing states, SIDS, are addressed and equitable health solutions are pursued. Honduras, El Salvador, and Paraguay and Bahamas also form part of the committee. I wanted to share that information with you regarding what is happening on the international stage coming out of the UN, the 79th UN General Assembly, where Senkis Nevis was represented. We will open the phone lines now and give you, the callers, an opportunity to call in and to somewhat continue where we left off from yesterday in terms of recognizing and showing appreciation to older persons in our community. And I want to hear from you, the callers, whatever experiences you may have had with an older person, and what did you learn or gather from that experience. Let us look at the role that older persons play in our community. I love that the idea here is to have consultations with older people and to hear from them their suggestions to tackle the crime and violence issue in St. Kitts and Nevis. And so it's not just to hear from the young people. As you know, we had a national symposium on crime and violence. I think that was earlier this year. They're having town hall sessions or consultations, and now want to meet with the older population. And so trying to tap into every corner, every sector, every group within our community is what is needed. We have a caller on the line, I believe, so we'll take our first call for this morning. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Devonne. How are you doing?
I am doing well. What about you?
I'm giving thanks for old age. God has been good to me and I can't complain. Oh, good morning. Now, the treatment of elderly people has improved over the years, right? There's no question about it.
Okay.
But we practice ageism to a very large extent.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I'm hearing you in the background.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn down this melody chance, when they're in there. So, we practice ageism is common in this country. Oh, make old people don't go sit down. I mean, people are accosting me. I say, no, don't keep up the way you and say you're old. You understand? As if somehow, because you pass a certain age, you're no longer part of the community and the society.
Mm.
You are familiar with that, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah. All them old people, something in them. Them old people calling in, now tell me. The old people calling in, they lived here when they were younger, they have contributed, and they continue to. Because without the old people input, the young people will not learn. We learn, I learn from my mother and other older people. And it helps so we don't keep making the same mistake. So I want to encourage all of the elderly. And by the way, at what age do we consider the people to be old?
But according to the United Nations, I believe the age is 65.
Really?
65.
All right. Now, when you look at this, in the U.S. election, Biden and Trump, they wouldn't stand a chance in St. Kitts. They wouldn't stand a chance. All across Africa, you have people in the 90s and the 80s.
But why don't you think they'll stand a chance down here?
Because we practice ageism too much.
Ah, okay.
We are under the impression that once you retire or once you collect Social Security, you're supposed to just wait for the undertaker. So the country cannot really properly develop because you have young leaders coming who lack experience. People who would have been through it, people who could tell you, look, I know you propose this way, but if you do so and so, because they would have had experience, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's why you find our countries are not moving ahead. Because we keep trying new things without any foundation.
Mm.
Now, let me get to the programs we have. I recall sometime maybe in the 1980s, not the 80s, in 2018, somewhere around here, there was a program called Golden Years, which is similar to what is going on now in the community centers.
Okay.
But it gave the people more flexibility in that they organized. The people themselves organize themselves as to what they will do. I find when they announce their program, they say they're looking for able-bodied elderly. What does that mean? You understand?
Yes.
I am blind. There's one in Newtown, they don't cater for blind people. Even the program they have. They're going to make fly kite. I mean, you understand what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Then those who are in wheelchair. What about them? It's a large chunk of the elderly are excluded, you know. And then again, they ask you to take the bus. I'm talking about someone I know. Nobody is provided to get you from where you are to the bus. The bus is going to park down by the fire station. Now you live up Manchester Avenue. Even my way, I live Neverson Street East. To the foot of my street is the highway. Everything fly across there. How are you, another blind person, to get from there to there? It is okay if you have some relative at home, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But if they know you're there, get one of the home care workers also to come and pick up the people.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the buildings, they don't have much good access, ramps. There's a ramp down by the Irish Town one where the association meet. But when rain come, it pours because the ramp doesn't have a cover.
Mm-hmm. All right. We want to take some more calls, so quickly wrap it up.
Yes, so we have a long way to go and more respect to give to elderly people.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. Let's hit this other call. Hello, good morning. You're on the air. Hello,
yes,
caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
So, on the concerning the elderly. A question: what age do you determine is senior citizen?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the age the UN has suggested is 65. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis is 62 and older.
So, what do you consider a government worker will go home at age 55?
Somebody at age 55 is not a senior citizen. I think if you're 55, you could still make a contribution to the development of the country. At 55, you shouldn't be forced to go home and, as we would say, sit down and anything.
Okay. Now, I am looking at, do you look around in town and you see that even in some of the banks that you don't have no access for elder people who are limited physically?
There is, I don't know about other banks, but I know for National Bank, they recently made that possible where if you are differently abled, you can access the bank via a ramp. The main branch there in Bastia.
You look at a lot of the buildings now that everybody's building a big high building and people are running up 2 and 3 floors. You realize that they're not looking at what we call the senior citizens for the elderly. Then again, they're not putting in any elevator in them. So you see, yes, the program that they are doing for the past number of years are very good and significant improvement, and we must give high note and praise to the organizing committee, the different governments. We have improved significantly, but we are still far behind because lots of businesses in town they have no access to. Right? And even at a number of the ATMs machine them, even that they don't, the people who have little disability, who are elderly, don't have no access to the ATM machines them.
But I'll tell you this, I think most of the buildings in Bastia and even in Charleston, when they were constructed, unfortunately, nobody really thought about people being, and it sounds harsh, but it's the reality. Nobody really thought about making provision for a wheelchair ramp or people who may be differently abled. What we're seeing now, an effort is being made to ensure that when buildings are constructed, they at least have a ramp so persons who use the wheelchair can access and they have proper support in terms of a railing and all of that. What needs to happen is from the department responsible for approving these plans, they need to meet with the builders or the owners, whoever, and try to find a way to have that incorporated in the plan in terms of provision for people who are differently abled.
True, but look at it. You say those buildings were not built for that, but they have rebuilt a lot of these buildings, and they put nothing in place even now in the 2024, even in 2020 and beyond 2020 coming up. They make no access for senior citizens, and they make no access for the elderly people. Although they reconstruct and rebuild these buildings. And look at these apartments they are building now. Hardly anybody building any flat apartment. People going 2 and 3 floors up, plus down in the cellar, and still there is no access if you lose a limb or something like that. And not only that, the building board and the owners and the banks, financial institutions need to sit along with the government, private sector venture along with the government, and you realize people are building these apartments and squeezing them up when time for ambulance and undertaker, you have so much problems to get to these people to render what kind of service you come there for. Because everybody trying to make 25 apartment out at 10 apartment building. So you have all these small little matchbox room, and when you go there, ambulance, any fire, undertakers, good Jesus Heavenly Father, you can't get out. You could get in, but you can't get your machinery, you can't get your tools and resources that you have to work within these rooms because they're big like a box of matches.
All right, caller.
Yeah, so all these things, the building board and, the senior citizens, everybody has to sit and organize these things.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. We do want to take some more calls. Let's take this call. You're on the air, caller. Good morning. Okay, we don't have a caller there. We'll take a break. It's 11:27. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
The future is unknown. Protect your life, your family, and your valuables from unforeseen circumstances. Let National Caribbean Insurance give you the peace of mind that you so deserve. At NCI, we offer a suite of affordable insurance plans that can be tailored to ease your financial burden. We aim to deliver exceptional products to satisfy all your insurance needs. Whether life, health, motor, or property insurance, NCI has the right solution for you. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales professionals are ready and able to assist you. Let National Caribbean Insurance Company Limited help you to prepare for the unexpected. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Guess what? What? September 2024 marks the official start of Aspire.
And our government has a super cool gift just for us.
$1,000 in saving and investments.
$500 will be held in a savings account.
That will go as you go.
And $500 in shares kept safely until you are qualified to access it.
And it belongs to us. Not mommy, no daddy.
And not only that, you'll be learning all about how to manage your money wisely at school too.
Yes, all children ages 5 to 18 who are citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis
and registered at a school, including homeschool, will qualify.
I can't wait for September 2024.
But I am the first group ever to benefit from this program.
Yay! To saving, investing, and
watching our money grow.
Welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. The phone lines remain open at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, I'm back. Now, I also find that the seniors are being left behind technologically. While the country is moving ahead with IT and everything online, no provision is made to teach older persons how to use their devices and so. And then the telephone companies, they don't help because some of the phones, when they bring in all these new phones, who is to teach an older person? I mean, if you have a grandchild, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everything, you have to apply online. Do your banking online. We are not, and that goes for churches too, because I've been in the States. I have heard them advertise driving lessons for people over 55, computer training for people over 55. No such thing here. So we stumble and we say, and while we're at the ATM, they need to make the letters or the numbers larger So an older person goes to the ATM. They can barely read out to see what the thing is saying. Are you aware of that?
I don't think that's the case. The ATMs that I use in both St. Kitts and Nevis, the numbers are pretty large.
Large enough for older person?
The numbers are large, and then they have different numbers in red, and like they I think they enter and they cancel. Another number is in red and green. But I think the numbers are pretty large, but it might be different for somebody who is
who have vision impairment. They don't, you understand? But I'm talking about the training. We have all of these nice policies and programs and everything. And they're all on the internet. So I'm calling upon the Ministry of Education. Education doesn't have a 55. I retired at 55, 55. Because once you come in before 2011, at 55 you're old, you must go home. Without any provision made for you, even the economy, when they absorb you, is at the bottom position, standing up by doing that kind of foolishness. The government itself does not equip people. So we have a long way to go. And even the radio stations, you all could use old people along with some of these programs you all have. Even the call-in shows. There are many people out here in St. Kitts and Nevis who have received massive and wide education.
But when you say use old people, what exactly are you referring to?
I just said some of the programs you all have, right? They could man them.
How?
Even the call-in shows.
What do you mean, like in terms of host
programs? Like what you're doing.
Okay.
And all the person, they have a lot more experience. So when they call, I'm not putting you down, but when people call in, they could maybe better relate. And they need to take Jamaica, for example. A lot of these NGOs, they monitor government's programs, and they have their own, where you have economic discussion. I long for those things,
But at the same time, the caller, you're assuming that it is only older people who have the knowledge.
I didn't say that.
Let me make this point quickly.
I know, but don't misunderstand me.
I believe in, perhaps I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but for me, I believe in youth and experience. You have somebody who perhaps only have, let me not use the word only, you have somebody who perhaps has 5 to 10 years experience. That does not mean they're not equipped to speak on whatever topic. Then you have somebody who has 40 years experience. Of course, they have more experience, they have more knowledge, but
right,
I don't think you should not put the person aside who has 10 years experience.
No,
you should not put the person aside who has 40 years experience.
So, Ms. Henry,
when you misunderstand, you misinterpret.
Ms. Henry, would you like to? Ms. Henry, would you like to host the program with Devonne? Would you like to host the program with Devonne?
I could handle that.
Okay.
But Devonne, I could handle that.
I think that's what she means.
Devonne, what you say? Devonne, say your piece.
Well, I accept the thing. If you want to come and host it, you could come.
No, I did not. They were talking about capability.
Or we could set up an online platform for you.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to get around to teaching our what we call elderly people, and in some countries they're not elderly, I have seen them in the States. You work till you're 70. Barbados going to 67. In some countries, they allow you to work as long as you're able. 55 and they send you home to do what? To get old?
Yeah, you've made a really great point there. But we're going to take some more calls, so thank you very much.
What's your age,
Thank you for your contribution to the program. Yes, there's some people. I think it has a lot to do with our mindset. We believe that after you hit
Miss Henry, how you doing? Good morning to you.
60
she said something about me, so
you can still make a contribution.
She said what?
No, I'm saying after 55, some people decide that you're old and you're obsolete. But after that age, you could still make a contribution.
Miss Henry is not old and inactive. Miss Henry is very sparky.
Very, very active.
And it sounds like we might have a new DJ up here.
Well, she has suggested that we should add older persons to the programming.
DJ Henry?
assisting to host. So I could
send me one name for your portfolio, your announcer's name, DJ Henry.
Well. You're listening to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. We have a call on the line. Okay, we'll ask that one. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Carl here again. Talking about the ATM them, right? I'm going to draw your attention. You said there have been some improvement. I'm going to draw your attention. Industrial site ATM by National. There is no access for wheelchair or anybody with any default in limbs. The ATM in the circus by National again. No access to wheelchairs or anybody, somebody with a broken leg or broken arm, hard to get up them steps to go into the ATM there. Right? And other banks, Credit Union on Navy Street, the ATM there is no access for no wheelchair person there. When you get there by the door, if you're not able enough, you can't get up to open the door. And worse, to get in to get any funding, you have to ask a young person to do that for you. Right? And a number of other banks, if you look around at the ATM and where there is no access for these people who are elderly, who are not so able, even they have all the limbs and they're not so able. And again, the doors of these ATM, the people have to shove in a car to get these doors open, and up to when the door say, you have to still push with your strength to get inside. So you see, we way behind with a lot of things to access things.
Someone said to call it, the doors, they're designed a certain way for security of the person inside the ATM. You don't want a door that when you touch it fly back open. So it's for the security of the person. Well, I understand what you're saying. This issue of having ATMs easily accessible for people who are differently able is a serious one.
Yes.
Our issue here in St. Kitts and Nevis, however, is space. If you look at the placements of the ATMs, right, you don't have much space to work with to add a ramp or to whatever.
You want the industrial site above CDC. You have more than enough space there to make a ramp accessible for people. Even if they shove up and the door is going to close, is going to come in on the wheelchair, but at least the door will be open, they will be able to do their business. But there is no ramp, there is just dot. Even at St. Peter's, the one at St. Peter's, no access for those people again. And if you go down in Old Road, the same thing. And it's not only National. A number of the different banks them around Bastille is the same thing. There is no access thing. They just make most access for young and able people. So it means these people must always be looking to ask, Mr. Miss, you could please take off this for me now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the businesses in town, even though they are flat downstairs, these steps, there is no access for those people to get inside. You have to tell somebody, buy a pair of joggers in there for me, size 6. No. We got to come better than that. Gone.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. Let's take this call. You're on the air. Good morning. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Okay, I'm not getting through with that caller. Let's take this one. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Devonne Cornelius.
Yes, good morning.
Two topics I would like to touch on.
Sorry?
One, are you aware that Grenada has its own $50 Eastern Caribbean currency bill? It's in commemoration of the 50th anniversary for independence. Hello?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Now I ask the question, are you aware that there is a new $50 Eastern Caribbean currency bill in circle? Because it is on behalf of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence.
Yes, I'm aware of that, yes.
How much persons on the island is?
How many?
much information had not been issued to the public. Because business places does not know.
What does that have to do with us, St. Kitts and Nevis?
Because it's the Eastern Caribbean currency it is. Somebody from Grenada come to St. Kitts with that said bill.
But caller, that don't have anything to do with us. That's Grenada.
But then, okay, if you don't want to debate it, let's forget that there then. Let us check on what took place weekend gone there. Seasoning peppers. The price of seasoning peppers gone up. It's not because of the farmers. It's because of who in charge of the country. The Minister of Agriculture, Permanent Secretary, and the authorities. I, for one, I'm speaking on behalf of myself now. Videos are taken of my farm, my nursery, by the Assistant Director of Agriculture, sent to the Permanent Secretary. All these information they had since in December of last year. And it's like, hey, ignore he. Right now the country suffering. The price of seasoning peppers is no longer $5, it's $6. Presently now I have a nursery again coming on. I want to know we are going to transplant them. Because they're talking about food security. Ain't no food security, you know.
Okay,
this thing.
I want to get a chance to come by you have a farm, you say?
I have a nursery right now, and where it is at, one is down in my brother's yard. X amount of 1,000 seedlings there.
Okay.
Up on my farm, listen, let me finish. Up on my farm, I can't call it a farm. Because it's not fenced, I can't do nothing at all for me. But there is a next set of seedlings, next set of seeds germinating. They should germinate between today and Thursday. I will gladly take you. I will give you my number so you could get in contact with me. And I will take you to my brother's place. But on the next start by my farm, I will love for you to see. And for you to see the problems that I've been undergoing. I'm very, very, very happy. And then you then could come back on the ear and say you visited my farm and my next nursery. And what I said is true. My name is Koshroy, K-O-S-H-R-O-Y, Tweed, T-W-E-E-D. My number is 668-2555. I will gladly. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
So how soon, when you call me, you're able to tell me how soon you'll be able to visit me, right?
I can't give you a time right now, but
I said when you, so it's up to you now to determine when you will be able to. If you understand what I'm speaking of.
Yes, all right then.
Yeah, man, because this thing need to be known. It need to be known because the Minister of Agriculture and the Permanent Secretary, they have the farm and they're producing. While consortium, a group of farmers, over 100 farmers, catching hell. We are now in a new farming, planting season, and we can't continue going to this. It's just the Minister of Agriculture and his Permanent Secretary deciding what's going to go to for the farmers. While these things going on, we left to speculate. Is these two men involved with the wholesalers, the importers, wholesale importers? So that they keep the farmers, the local farmers produce them entering into the market while the importers, over 200 million and EC dollars is US dollars, because we're not trading EC dollars, we're trading in US dollars. So it's over $1 billion we dare to benefit from, and we've been hindered. How much tons of our food being destroyed because of these two men? Goodbye, good morning.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to the program. You're listening to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. It's 11:45. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here for today. Stay tuned.
The Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative Society presents the 14th Annual World Food Day Food Fair and Agricultural Exhibition at Eco Park on Saturday, 12th October from 12 noon. Entrance fee is just $5 for children 10 years and older and adults. Don't miss highlights like the secondary school cooking competition, rabbit festival, shark food products, food vendors, agricultural exhibits, GEF small grants launch, kids zone, and much more. Enjoy entertainment by Unstoppable Sounds, DJ Katai, and Explosive Band. Mark your calendars. Saturday, 12th October from 12 noon at Eco Park. Be there.
Join us on ZIZ TV for Youth Lounge with Sniper, a talk show on vital topics such as tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health. Featuring experts from St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on the first and third Wednesday of every month at 8:30 p.m. on ZIZ TV.
You're listening to ZIZ Radio, the golden voice of the nation.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm your host for today, Devonne Cornelius. Thank you for joining me on the program for Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. It's the beginning of a new month, and we are also celebrating International Day of Older Persons, where we honor and appreciate them for their contribution. Let's head back to the phone lines, and we'll take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. What about you?
Not too bad. Now, the fellas, these were just casual, just speak. I think I hear him say, the minister and the secretary have a farm, right? I stand to correct it. But then, if they had a farm before they get into government, why still have it to compete with other people? And that is bad.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you had a farm,
yeah,
right, before you become the director of farming, you're going to close your farm?
No, but if you...
So what's going to happen if you're no longer the director of farming?
No, but if you had the farm before, listen to me, well, yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but if you had the farm before, yes, but if you don't get that portfolio, you can continue. But then if you get a portfolio, you cannot compete with somebody else because
I disagree with you. That's your point, caller, and I'm not knocking you, but I disagree with you.
Oh, that's
yeah, I disagree with you. You're telling me that if I have a farm and I happen to be the Minister of Agriculture tomorrow, I must go and close my farm? Completely forgetting people who work on the farm? What happens if the day after that I'm no longer Minister of Agriculture?
You ain't gonna look out for the people them who
we need to stop thinking like that.
It's true.
So it's like I'm a doctor. I become Minister of Health tomorrow. I should turn back in my doctor license because you might see me competing with other doctors.
Well, doctors,
we need to choose our battles wisely.
Yes,
That's not a battle that you should want to choose. Telling me that if I have a farm or anybody for that matter, if they become an official in agriculture, they should close their farm.
So you're competing with your competitor. That ain't good enough. And the thing with the retirement age, if they used to retire at 55, right, and they got to what you said 65. No, I don't think firms just look into what the people the age then that they could leave or I don't think so. But the government do that, and whoever government, they still bring back people to work when they know there's no time for work. Go sit down. See you.
All right. Thank you for your contribution to the program. It's 11:50. Let's take this other call. You're on the air. Good morning.
What the last caller just mentioned, right? Is not is not saying that they should not stop farming. What is happening is these two men are the only deciders. No other person makes decision but them.
How you know that?
Because I know. Listen to me. Hold on. Listen to me.
You're saying they're the only ones who make the decisions. How you know that?
I'm giving you the answer. On how much occasions was said two men was to have meeting with the consortium over 100 farmers and they keep refusing. How much times? How much occasions? How is it only the farmers that belong to the consortium is only reproduced are being left to rot and to feed hogs? Tons and tons. Ask me, I tell you, I have the information. You ask the question. Okay. Allow me to answer you.
And I've allowed you to answer. But you're saying because they were supposed to meet with whatever group and they have not, that means that they're the only ones in charge of making any sort of decision. Nobody else could have a say. That's what you're saying.
That is what's happening.
Okay.
That is what actually happening. That you're stifling because that's give you a reason why, for example, the seasoning peppers as a crop. We should have never gone to the way it is now, to that law.
Okay.
We should have already had it because I'm telling you, if you hear me tell you seasoning peppers, and so then the consumers now, the small little bags what they used to buy for $2.50, you have like $3.50. That's what I'm telling you. Maybe only one person or two persons might have seasoning peppers at this point in time. I have drip lines. I had my fencing. They bring up bulldozer to clean me land and Antonov from since December. It's over 20,000 trees I should have been had. We have it in 4 different sections. Ain't happening. It's not happening. The intention is to crush the farmers. Me asking you, telling you, I'm not against them because, for example, right, you had a man in him, William DeGrasse. He was bringing a boat to compete with the boat that went between St. Kitts and Nevis, but you know, I go to LA to hear you can't be a part of us. Go. But they're doing it wrong. Goodbye.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge. Let's take this call. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning again, the elderly calling. Good morning, Ronnie Rascal.
Good morning.
DJ Henry.
Good morning.
You're going to have to stop like some of them songs in and nobody don't break back and bend over, you know. Whether it's DJing, not bending over, no walk up on nothing.
When you come, you introduce your playlist.
Let me continue. You can think of the answer. Now, our culture has changed, or is changing. There seems to be a haste in dumping. I call it dumping, you know. Our elderly into homes, public and private homes. After the people consent, you know, in the old time days, your grandmother was home. People feel they can't be bothered. They got the American kind of style. Well, I have to go work, so you study. And some of them even more brutal. The doctor admits you to JNF at the hospital. They take you there, so the nurse close. When the doctor is ready to discharge you, nobody there. So they end up in the card in home.
If I could engage you a bit on this topic, right? And
go right ahead.
We were having this conversation yesterday. Your point is the elderly, older persons being placed in a home or some other facility, right? Now, let's be realistic here. And this is not me being insensitive. This is not me being harsh. But
yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Listen, go ahead.
You have an elderly living with you, whether it is an aunt, uncle, mother, or father, right? The reality is you cannot stay home with them every day. Somebody has to pay the bills. Let us say it's a case where that elderly person, they don't have a pension, they have no source of income. If you stay home every day with that person, who's going to pay the bills?
Well, that's a fact. That is a
right. So
that's an unusual case, right?
So paying the bills, right? Not just paying the bills
when
for
that. In a private home, you know those things cost 2,000, 3,000
caller,
a month?
Listen. Not just paying the bills for that person, but you also have a life. So while I hear you and I understand you, it is not.
Somebody
it is
to look
easier
after
said
them in
than
the home.
done.
If you could take up that kind of money and pay. Now some of them need extra medical care, so don't forget that. I'm not forgetting it. And dumping them in the car in home.
You can't say dumping. I don't think anybody really gets up and
as soon as they die, they carry them down that place down here. Big casket. You hear about the hot weather. There are many seniors at home without a fan. And when they die, you hear that one long story. They are from here to Abraham.
You're strained.
You're strained.
Yes,
I am saying. This is what I'm saying.
No, you're strained.
I'm talking about lack of care, lack of love. It doesn't apply to everybody. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't apply to everybody. But you visit some of the homes, I mean, the disappointment, because you would have sacrificed all of that. The same money you could take and pay to put you in a home. You could pay somebody to look after your elderly in their own home.
Yeah, that's welcomed. I'm totally not against that. But you cannot give the impression that it's a case where, and again, it doesn't apply to everybody, but
that's true.
It is easier said than done.
It's not becoming the norm. Just like in the U.S., it's becoming the norm. I mean, and sometimes they abuse. Some of them get in Social Security. The person at home cashing the checks, and the people are them hungry as the song, this and that song. They're cashing the check, they're cleaning out the bank account.
Yeah, that's a real issue. But thank you for your contribution.
These are things you must take seriously, because one of these days, somebody forget how hard you work.
Yes, caller, thank you for your contribution. We're out of time. I definitely understand where you're coming from. Well, it might sound harsh, but we need to be realistic. I get the point of hiring or having caregivers in the home, which is also a great option, because you might have a case where that elderly person prefers to be at home and you don't necessarily want to have them in a care facility. But you can't stay home every day with that elderly person. Somebody has to pay the bills, and not just pay the bills for that elderly person, but pay the bills to keep that household running. And then you have some cases where that person, they have to look after that elderly person, and they also have their children, and that is a great responsibility, and in their case it may be a burden, and so they perhaps engage a caregiver or they put them in a home. But I don't think everybody should be painted with the broad brush that you just take your elderly mother or father or uncle or aunt and drop them off in the home and completely forget about them. It happens to some people, but it is not the case for everybody. There are some people, if they can, they will stay home every day with their parents who are elderly. But somebody has to pay the bills. Somebody has to pay the bills. You can't be home every day. Unless you rich and you have real estate and all of these things to help you. So that's a conversation that I'd like to explore some more with you and other experts. It's one that is very sensitive, because older people always say, when we get old, you chuck us in the home. I mean, one day I'm going to get old, by the grace of God. Do I want to go in a home? Perhaps I want to stay home and somebody look after me. But the reality is, nobody could stay home and look after me for free. They have to be paid, have to be in a home. And children, grandchildren, nieces, nephew, they have to go to work. I'm out of time. I have 30 seconds left. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Continue to enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Bus drivers, are your time on the road, man. Have a good one.